which are stalwarts of Ramsay Street.
She had a violently bad reaction to her last COVID shot. And, poor love, she's really down for the count.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm starting to believe that a lot of what they're saying is true. And I'm a very angry man.
Hello, folks. Thought I'd better come on here and have a bit of a chat because I did a live on my phone earlier, and that will have only gone to the Nun2K YouTube channel. So thought I'd better kill 3 other birds with one stone. So here we are having a quickie. First of all, I'm doing a live show on the Sunshine Coast tomorrow night. It's going to happen at the Waterfront Hotel in Diddillaba. That's near Bly for those of you who might know the Sunshine Coast. Great little pub. We've been at that venue before. You have to ring up and book your seats for that one. And if you are going to have a seat, well, why not have dinner? Come and join us for dinner beforehand. I think they start cooking from 5:30. We did have some issues last time with people sort of turning up at 6:45 and ordering dinner and not getting it until 8 o'clock, and the show had already started by then. So just bear that in mind. If you want to come, ring them, tell them you're coming for the Voice of Freedom show, and they will sort you out as a priority when it comes to meals. And that will also guarantee you a seat. They've been good enough to give us the room for nothing. So the least we can do is have dinner with them and make sure that they get a couple of bucks out of giving the room to us for nothing. It's how it works. We all get something out of this, or it doesn't work. So I'm happy to give my time and my equipment and everything else. They just give us the room and we turn up and have dinner. It seems like a pretty fair transaction. So if you want to give them a call, Waterfront Hotel Diddillaba on the Sunshine Coast is the folks to talk to. Now, a lot of people will have seen the vision of army guys walking around streets in New South Wales, a little place called Currarong. Where is Currarong? Currarong is very close to Jervis Bay. So I know a couple of people down that way, and I've had them tell me all about what's going on. So there are apparently 2 groups down there. They've taken over 2 small towns, if you like. When I say taken over, they haven't. They've set up basketball-sized compounds, if you like. There are about 20, 25 per group. They are doing patrol exercises, and they are also doing exercises like stopping vehicles, vehicle checkpoints. Now, if they stop a vehicle, a local, at one of these checkpoints, the driver of the vehicle is asked if they will volunteer to help train the recruit or the trainee with their mission, which is how to interact with the public. So if you agree to that, then they do a mirror search under your car looking for, bombs and that kind of stuff. And I guess if you agree, they will also crack your doors and give you a cursory search inside the vehicle as well. But it is a stress, all voluntary. So if you are just a local who happens to be driving through the streets and you may be heading over to the bay for a reason, there is only one road in and one road out of these places. So it makes them very easy to cut off and have these kinds of exercises. As I said on the previous feed on Nun2K, that's not unusual that the army would be training to deal with the public. What is unusual is that they're learning to deal with the Australian public. Ordinarily, the public that they would be dealing with would be an overseas public, Afghanistan, East Timor, Iraq, wherever else we send them. And they do training on base for how to interact with locals in those circumstances. So why are they doing training on how to interact with Australian people, the Australian public? And why are they doing it at Jervis Bay or around Jervis Bay? Are they doing it anywhere else? So keep your eyes out, folks. Maybe you have seen more of these things in more of these emplacements, if you like, around your small city, your small town. It could be way out west. It could be right in the middle of Australia. It could be along the coast somewhere. Are you seeing any of it? So if you are, then let us know. carl@vofhq.com. It just seems very interesting to me that they're learning how to interact with the Australian public. Because if they were learning how to interact with anything else, they'd be doing it on base. They don't need the public to drive past to do a search. They can go to Puckapunyal, where the Army School of Transport is located, or the Defence Force School of Transport, I believe, and you learn to drive everything there from the smallest to the largest vehicle. There's no shortage of people driving around and doing that. Plenty of ability to put up roadblocks and learn how to interact with the drivers of those vehicles. But why are they doing it in public? It's all very interesting. Now, Donald Trump. So they're saying Donald Trump's going to get arrested this week, and that's a fairly strong bet. Tuesday, possibly Wednesday, our time. And if you have followed Q, I'm pretty sure that there is some reference to him being arrested as a key point or a key date, and we will see, what happens. Look, Eve, I have no idea whether it's a white hat operation or not, if you're referring to those soldiers. What I did notice in that video, and I haven't sucked it in here to play it yet, but I will, and we'll have a talk about it maybe tomorrow. The weapons that they were holding as they were walking down the streets are real weapons. But I am told that there is a machine gun emplacement at both of their bases, if you like, which is red-tipped. So in my experience, a barrel that has a red or a yellow tip on it usually is a exercise weapon, what they call an exercise weapon. So certainly the M60 that's mounted above the front gate, that looks like an exercise weapon, but the rest of them look very real. But then again, so do gel blasters. So we could talk about gel blasters a little bit, but I want to do a bit more investigation. Certainly what happened out in Warwick recently is bearing a lot more investigation. And I fear for the way certain members of our community are going to be hunted. It is clear that particularly in Queensland, the police will go to just about any lengths. So it is something to be concerned about for all of us. And I would just say, make sure you let friends and family know exactly how good you are, exactly how much you love life, exactly how much you love your family, and move on. Keep trying to elevate ourselves, folks. That's what we've got to do. Raise our vibration, become more discerning. Speaking of that, thank you to everybody who sent me emails overnight after last night's QSI show. Not as silly as I may seem. I do ask questions for a reason, and it's because I don't know the answers in a lot of cases. But in some cases, I do know the answers, and I'm interested to see what others come out with. Now, last night, we showed something literally that was stumbled over by me. And I am looking forward to hearing more about what is behind, or the reasoning and the answers behind some of the things that we brought up last night with Jane and Jim from QSI. But I in no way do I suspect QSI of being some sort of scamming thing. And that seemed to bear out in the emails that I've received overnight as well. The information that they give you on how to understand digital coin, XRP, XLM in particular, is very, very good. Can't be faulted. And it is, whether we like it or not, going to happen. We may as well know something about it. It's these side coins, these little spin-off coins that I don't understand and I'm struggling to come to terms with. And as you saw last night, there are some reasons why. Now, there might be, as they said, very, very valid reasons why there might be those sorts of alerts coming up on different assets. And it does bear out that, if you've got a grudge against someone, you can report their asset, and that's that. It comes up with some kind of an alert. Because, as Jim said repeatedly last night, we are beta testers for the system. So while we're also finding out the good parts about it, well, I guess those that are involved are also finding out some of the bad parts about it, and that's what needs to be found out before the switch. So yes, I find it all very confusing. I am not at this point invested in any of it, and if I do, it will be a very, very small amount, $10-$20 at the most. I would give XLM a go for that and that alone. I'm not interested in these other coins. If we have Nasara, Jassara coming our way, as Jim and Jane were suggesting, then I'm not sure why I would need to invest $45 in some, US wonderful gold-backed bond that's going to net me $92 million when the financial flip happens. When the financial flip happens, if it happens the way everybody says, well, a lot of people say, money's not going to be the issue. And it's never been the driver for me. So the motivation to get 92 million extra dollars isn't big, because I firmly believe if Nasara Jassara does happen and we get back all the wealth that's been stolen from us, and that's a big ask, then I won't need 92 million extra dollars. Okay, be able to put it towards some really good humanitarian projects. And for that, I can see that there is maybe a reason to give it a go. But I haven't been able to break my way through the secret special page yet to figure out how it all works. So I'm looking forward to watching the explainer video that teaches me how to get into the website. But anyway, thank you to everybody who has sent me emails ranging from about bloody time to congratulations to thank God. I started pointing this stuff out. I want you to all to be aware. We've been aware from all of this from day one. What we need is information, and we're getting that. Jane and Jim are very open. So I have no problems with QSI in that regard. And what I'm learning now, and what I think we would all hope to try and learn at some stage, is how to discern our way to the right coin, something that isn't a scam, something that isn't a fake. And as Jim put it last night, when, not if, when the financial flip happens, all of those shit coins, all of those invalid, faked coins will just disappear. Unfortunately, if you're invested in them, I suspect your money will as well. So that's what discernment means, folks, in this regard anyway. Get as much information as you can on both sides of the coin. Don't just be limiting yourself to, look, I heard they were scammers. No, go out and prove they are, or prove they're not. One of the two. Don't just believe what somebody else tells you, because quite often, as people found out over Facebook when I disappeared off the show for a couple of days, people found out there are people who tell lies online. Somebody was putting out a rumor that, from a trusted source, that I'd had a stroke and was in hospital and it wasn't looking good. Thank you. I just have everybody know that I am, while overweight, I am very fit. I do have my health measured on a semi-regular basis. The last time was a little while ago, but when I say a little while ago, I don't mean years. I've got a very strong heart, so the doctor tells me. So I've also got really good ears. Apparently that comes from smoking. Who knew a doctor would give you that advice? Oh, you've got great ears, you smoke. Yes, I do. Oh, well, that's why you've got great ears. Apparently the sucking motion keeps the ear canal clear a lot more. I don't know. But anyway, there's a plus for smokers, if there is such a thing. Appy, yes, magically disappear. That should be a warning. Yeah, well, look, red flags. One red flag you might be able to ignore. 2 red flags would certainly raise an interest. 3 red flags, you'd be wondering, well, do I really need to go looking any deeper? They're the questions that I want answered. And, well, according to Jane last night, those assets that did come up with a warning on them have actually been checked. They are verified, or if not verified, they are proven to be real. But for some reason, anybody can get up and put a scam warning on anybody else's asset. How do you remove those? That'll be my next question. Why haven't they been removed? How long do they take to be removed? So this is just information gathering, folks. And so far, I've gathered enough information not to invest in any of it, and maybe consider putting $10 into XLM. That's how close I am to it. So I'm not trying to push you into anything. I'm not trying to sell you into anything. I'll tell you what I do. And at the moment, my thought process is, and this isn't financial advice, it's just what I'm doing. every spare $40 I can get, I buy a coin. That's the only way to do it for me at the moment, because I trust in silver. If I could buy gold, I would probably, but $40 at a time, 38. I think I bought the last one for, and I haven't bought one in a little while now, so I don't know what the prices are. They might be over $40 now. I don't know, but it's still a better investment for me than me trying to figure my way around the online world of digital coins and how hard it is. To be frank, I don't have the time. It seems like you've got to sit in front of it a lot and work very hard just to make sure you're either in the right place or out of the right place at the right time. I'd always heard of pump and dump schemes in the share markets and that kind of thing, but Jim was saying last night, and so was Vince, that pump and dump is a real big thing in the digital coin world. Well, I didn't invest in the stock market for, similar reasons. I'm not interested in having somebody else have control over where my stock and share goes. And if it's being pumped and dumped, then I'm relying on somebody else's knowledge to dump it at the appropriate pumped moment so that I get out of it and make money, not lose money, and don't wind up holding a whole heap of worthless, paper, as it turns out. So, and I think in the stock market these days, it's just digital paper. Going to be another interesting week on Wall Street, I think. I think the banks are going to be in for another big week. And obviously with what's going down with Trump, if that is the trigger that the Q drops we're referring to, then I think, it's going to be a very interesting week. Very, very interesting week. There you go, Margie. I would agree 100%. $10 into XLM is much better than $10 into a pokey. So if you're going off to lunch today somewhere where you can play the pokies, might be a surf club, an RSL, a golf club, wherever, maybe just a normal pub, think about $10. If you're going to put 20 in the pokies, put 10. Put the other 10 in XLM maybe. I don't know. Consider it. Might just be something that does pay off in the end. And if it's whatever it is at the moment, I think the price of it's might be just over 10 cents. I don't know. $10. Look, you wind up with a few. If it goes up to the price of silver, you'll be very happy, won't you? Even if it went to the current price of silver, you'd double your money. So, maybe worth doing. Pump and dump like crazy precious metals to maintain the low price regulated through the futures market. Yeah, I think that's the COMEX market's going to be in for a bit of a shock. Whether it's next week or the week after, I don't know. But there is a lot going down. I don't think there's too much fiat money coming back out of the systems anymore. So gold and silver are going to come into play, and yes, been artificially suppressed for a long time. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the bounce back. I dare say you want to have your walking shoes on, maybe take a deck chair, because for all those people who've been out buying silver, if that happens, they're going to want to sell it, and they're going to be lining up at the dealers everywhere. So what will that do to the price? That will be interesting, because the initial raise, if it goes as high as people are saying, well, half the world's bought silver, or 2/3 of the world has bought silver, and they're going to want to sell it. They're going to want to sell it at that big high price. Only certain people are going to be able to get through with that. So that's the other thing to remember. All right, folks, I'm going to have to disappear off. I have an old pirate calling me, so I do need to go and take that call. Hope you have a lovely Sunday, and don't forget, tomorrow night at the Waterfront Hotel in the Sunshine Coast at Didillabar. Give them a call, book a table for dinner, try and come early for dinner, and that will guarantee you a seat at the show. You won't be able to just walk in and grab a chair in the function room. People who bought a meal first will get priority. So that's the Waterfront at Didillabar in the Sunshine Coast. Look forward to seeing you there tomorrow night. Have yourself a great Sunday.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's ride!